All right, it is 6 p.m. on Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. We're gonna open the village administrative board meeting. Roll call, please.
Yep, I have trustees Chris Sample,
Here.
John Talbot,
Here.
Jen Christensen, Bill Motisi,
Here.
Nathan Maz,
Here.
Patrick Yarlam,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onamany. Here. High Clerk Sandy Maz, I'm here. Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie,
Here.
Parks Lead Brody Cook,
Here.
Engineer Matt Hanson.
Here. Okay, before we get started, just so everybody wasn't here at the time knows. We're using these microphones.
Yes, the little pucks.
Pucks on the desk.
Yep, right there. No, Bill, you gotta share it. It actually picks
It picks
up.
up really well.
It does. Like I was testing them out and I could hear Rick in the hallway. So as long as you speak accordingly, they'll be good to go.
All right, so
They
that's
can't hear
that's the microphone tonight. That you don't get to speak.
I just said, I heard you okay. Doesn't need to be on my lap.
All this can project.
There.
All
Are
right,
you,
on
Sorry,
the-
just-
hold on, Bill, did you want to
She
use
just-
those tonight?
She just took them.
I'll plug,
Just
oh, yeah, let me plug them in. Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear us now?
Not wrong microphone, Bill.
Can you hear us?
Bill.
Oh, you said,
other
hold on,
microphone.
hold on, he said it's too low. That's as loud as I can make it. Is that better?
Can you hear us better?
That better, Bill? Oh, my God.
Do they have a micro? Do they have a volume on the headset
They
itself?
might. I've got my computer as loud as it'll go.
That's what I'm thinking. They probably have a dial on the headset itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the consent agenda this evening, we have 5 items.
Won't matter.
Item 1, December 30th, 2024, administrative board meeting minutes. Item 2, bills payable warrant list. Dated January 28th, 2025, for a total of $44,456.46. Number 3, outside meeting pay for elected officials, total of $100. Item 4, ordinance number 25-04, an ordinance authorizing disposal of personal property owned by the village of Davis Junction, which is the 2005 Ford F-650 Super Duty bucket truck, heat and variable frequency drive for return activated sludge pumps from MCC building at the wastewater treatment plant and Miller Bobcat welder generator. Number 5, award of the bid for Junction Way reconstruction project to Martin and Company in the amount of $242,208.60.
It's growing every minute.
At this time, do any of the board members wish to remove any of those 5 items for further discussion? Any of the first motion?
I move to place agenda items 1 through 5 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as the consent agenda.
Second.
Who said it first?
He said
I
it
said
twice.
twice.
It's all
I
right.
doubled down. Yeah, sorry.
Jen makes a motion to place items 1 through 5 inclusively as consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John, Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Passes 603. Second motion.
I move to adopt items 1 through 5 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
Second.
All right. Jen makes a motion to adopt items 1 through 5 inclusively as the consent agenda. Nathan seconds again. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen.
Yes.
That's at 603 also. Do not need item B as there were none removed. Just for the record on that bid from Junction Way, that did come in 17.4% below what our engineer's estimate was, which was $51,000 in savings.
Yay.
Move on to the officers and me. I do not have anybody for the planning and zoning commission. I think we're gonna put this out on the website. On Facebook to see if anybody wants to take this role. Because we're just not getting anybody that's on the board wants to do it, so. Andy?
Does the committee have any pending things?
Yes. Yes, it would have, we have a change to our vegetable garden zoning code we have to make according to state statute and also the zoning for the Gateway subdivision.
Well, that one, yeah.
So we're gonna try and do them all in one public hearing since we have to have a public hearing for both.
Floor is yours, Salem.
Oh, I do not have anything.
Brenda?
I think We received our fourth quarter landfill check from Waste Management and from the same check last year, it was up over 50%. So I was very happy with the check,
It's good.
so hopefully the next check will be better than last year's at that time.
Like trend, I don't wanna do that thing, so I don't get accused of being some kind of, we like to trend upward.
That's all I got.
All right. Matt,
All right, project status, I got the Junction Way, project recorded tonight, so we'll let Dale know and we'll get the contract sent out to Martin for execution and stuff there. Nothing with the salt shed or sidewalks, nothing active with the village hall. We're plat 10 ditches. The rebuild downtown Main Street, project. We've got the Gateway subdivision infrastructure improvements, out for bids, there's 2 contracts there. That was, put in the paper on the 13th, we had our pre-bid meeting. Last Wednesday, we had 4 contractors there, you have to look, I'm not sure the total number with, plan holders, I know Martin has plans out and they got the Junction Way, project, they weren't at the pre-bid, but they've done enough of the rebuild element project, so they kind of know the DEP requirements and all the things that are related to those, types of grants, so, the bid opening is February the 6th. And then the Gateway, subdivision lot 1 building and site improvements. That advertisement will go in this coming Monday, approval on the 11th. And then the bid opening would be on the 27th. So. I think that will put us pretty close to just before the admin meeting next month, so. Everything looks good. The Davis Junction Park and Oslet grant, they're still working on putting the plans and stuff together on that. They're waiting on some supplier information for the shelter, and restrooms, and then some of the splash pad components to get that tightened up, and then we're kind of pushing our MEP consultant, because we had to, obviously, with some of the additional stuff, get some new MEP for some of these additional items that we're putting back into the project. Dale's thinking probably advertise mid-March, but he's hoping to push it up a little bit if we can get our MEP consultant to get us their drawings and specs before then. The Rolling Meadows wastewater meter. Nothing on the meter itself this month, but as a follow-up, I just kind of put it under this. I did check with the EPA on the water side, and they would qualify for what the EPA terms the one critical review principal forgiveness. So EPA's loan program, they have their kind of traditional program, but then they do have other loans and principal forgiveness for specific types of projects, and one of them are for communities or public water supplies that only have one well. So since they only have the one well, they would qualify for that principal forgiveness, and that money can be used for any of the infrastructure, connect them up to the Davis Junction water system, abandoning any of their facilities that they wouldn't need if they would connect, like the wells, pressure tanks, things like that. So.
And then the loan, would that be our loan or their loan? So like, who needs to apply for that?
Probably could be either one, technically.
Okay.
Better them than us though, because then they follow through with it.
Yeah.
So is that really is that a loan or really just a grant? Because disguised as a loan.
Well, it's most times you're gonna have a loan component to those loans. We have to see, we haven't even done.
Oh, so you have to borrow money that you have to pay back, but they'll.
Yes, there could be in this case, if by chance all the construction work required to connect them is less than, the 495,000, then there would be no loan to pay back. They would still, whether it's through the village or through them, there would still be a quote loan agreement, but that loan agreement is just for the transfer of that principal forgiveness.
No, I get that. It's,
So yes,
it's kind of, yeah, that's
That's
basic.
what that's over.
It's all right. I
And
don't
this-
care how they work.
And what kind of grant is this?
This is
IEPA?
the-
So is that a federal grant?
No, this is
That's the-
EPA,
okay.
revolving
Just
fund
checking.
loan, through the public water supply. It does have federal money in it, though,
Okay.
there's some federal money in it, but then there's state match, and then there's all the communities that have loans through.
Is that federal money that's already been distributed to the states as a block grant? You see where we're going with this?
Came out today, and stuff, we're gonna just have to see how that all flushes
Alright.
out,
Okay,
probably by the time you do this, the money for next fiscal year. Who knows whether the feds have obligated their money, and stuff, if by chance the feds wouldn't obligate their portion of it, then you'd have to see whether the states would still do some of their own, plus there'd be money that would loan out through loan agreements.
Don't they usually just give it to the state as a block grant and then the
Yeah.
state administers it? So
Yeah,
just whether or not they carry through with the block grant.
yeah, pretty much.
Or if we're getting any grants at all.
Any this stuff, so, whether it's through, Illinois Department, or, each state's Department of Transportation, they're just funneling money out to the states through the
Right.
Department of Transportation,
Right.
EPA revolving fund loan. All these programs, so the states manage it, they just are
Right.
getting the money from the feds,
okay,
so.
just wanna make sure it's gonna, fingers crossed, be there.
You never
Yeah.
know.
We'll probably have a better handle on, hopefully we'll have a better handle on what impacts the new administration has on funding through some of the programs that we use for water, wastewater. Hopefully by June, because that's when the EPA starts putting together their next fiscal year budget, and stuff for their program on how much money they're gonna have to, be able to loan out to.
But anything that's already been granted should be all right.
Everything that should be granted, I would believe should be okay, but.
That's how I understood it.
I don't think they're clawing back any.
Yeah, all right. I'm just worried about our,
Yeah,
that, our bill downtown, is that all Illinois?
that's all Illinois.
Oh, then never mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
Did-
We have a call-
well, we've got a call in on
We've got a
that
call
one.
to Senator- the state senator,
Because
Chesney, just in case.
It's funded through Illinois, but it's using federal funds that they received. Did Illinois already receive those funds?
If
Well, I
they
think-
issued it, they
I
already
think-
had it
I
granted.
think the.
things we might wanna
Majority of
clarify.
it is state
Just to be
funds,
safe.
but I would have to check. Sometimes they were using some of the old COVID money that they
Yeah.
had stored away, and they're trying to get rid of it, and stuff, so. If there's any, I'd have to check and see whether they had any COVID money in the rebuild.
They did, so I looked it up earlier when that email came out and it said that it was using the coronavirus funds from the federal government to fund that program, and so I just need to know that Illinois received those funds already.
Probably had them.
For a long.
I like to think so, but we did, Rick, call into Senator Chesney to see if we can confirm.
Can't hurt.
yeah,
No,
Just wanted to.
just double checking.
Yeah.
Before we go headlong into something. go
Cross
on.
the T's, dot. So with this, are we pushing forward with the owners, with this, or do we have a plan going forward with the connection? What is,
This information was just provided to us about 5 minutes ago, so
Okay.
I think that Matt and Pat, or not, Matt, Pat and Rick would need to rediscuss since the last time the 5 of us met up. Right?
Yeah.
Fair statement?
Yeah.
Well, for you, Rick,
I don't know.
Pat, Matt, and I.
Free money, but.
well, I mean, the switching on to our water system is not something they've been wanting to do. They've been wanting to use their well from always.
That's not accurate.
So at least,
That's not an accurate update.
okay. So,
We're working on it.
I mean, to get a better handle, we probably have to take a look at their water system a little bit, see what we can do to make that interconnection, to see, come up with a cost estimate to find out, hey, with the principal forgiveness, if they could get it, would it cover all the costs, or would there be any loan component to it, so.
the meter that we discussed before, is this all gonna be part of that
Yeah.
too then?
Yeah,
Okay,
Is the IEP revolving fund still 2.5%?
It's actually, the current rate's 1.87.
So yeah, super low rates.
so Matt actually has that under the wastewater meter for Rolling Meadows.
perfect.
I should probably separate that out.
It's
Yeah, it
fine.
says
for
west-
now.
wastewater meter in there, but I didn't,
There's one conversation.
I know it's in there, but I just wanna, just clarify.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we got the news about those funds, it was like, she's like, let me call your friend, I'm like, I will absolutely call. Just to make sure.
Perfect.
All right, the water treatment plant filter rehabilitation, we did get some specifications from Nemic on one of the options that we gave you on a primer and structural epoxy coating system. We're just getting kind of a budget cost to do that application to see what that would cost. And then we had met with Tonka Water. This is a US filter plant, but Tonka Water basically builds the same, almost identical filter. They've done some rehabilitation work on filters as kind of a sidearm of their company. So we had met with them on a different project, and we brought up this one and told them what we were looking at trying to, what our problem was, what we were looking at trying to do, and what their they gave us a budget. I think the budget cost, I put it in there, yeah, around 87,000 materials. They're trying to get an estimate for us from a contractor to do the labor part of it, because it is gonna be a little bit labor intensive, but if I'll probably I'll bring up cross section of the filter so it's easier to maybe explain, but the filter, you've seen it, you know, and stuff, it's in 3 sections. So you start at the floor plate where the concrete sits on the concrete, then the under drain, there's a plate at the top of the under drain, and then you have your filter section where your media is at, and then you have another section which is your detention tank section of the filter. What they're proposing to do is, we can't get access to the part of the filter, it's just that under drain is too narrow to get in there to try to, whether we need to weld, sandblast, repaint. So what they're proposing is we take out that floor where the filter media sits, and between the filter media and the under drain, take that floor out. And then that'll give us access to the under drain. We'll try to find out where the leaks and stuff are. If we have to do any re-welding, we'll re-blast and repaint that bottom portion. And then what we're gonna do is we'll put in their design, and we've done filters with Tonka before. Their design for an under drain system, and their under drain system is, you basically have a series of piping, and you still have the nozzles. But what they do is, instead of having a steel plate there that the nozzles go through, they pour concrete around that to seal it up, so the nozzles are protruding through the concrete. And then what they'll do is, we'll have, in this case, we'll have what we call support media. It'll different gradations of it doesn't filter out the iron, but it just supports the media itself. Then we'll put the media back in, and then we'll have basically a functioning filter, a rebuilt filter, you know, and stuff there, that I think we would have good confidence that we get some good longevity and stuff out of, so.
So where's the epoxy coating going?
The epoxy coating, that's more of a short-term fix. What we're doing is we're not curing the problem. We're not really eliminating the leak. What we're doing is we're basically coating over where we think the water is coming from, and the epoxy and structural coating and stuff that we would apply would basically prevent the water from leaking. Yeah, leaking out of the tank. So it's a little bit more of a temporary fix. What we're proposing with Tonka, once we get those costs complete, you know, and stuff, to me, that's looking at a more, you know, a little bit more longer term permanent fix to it.
So the epoxy is basically the internal version of the concrete curb on the outside.
So we're gonna pump the epoxy into it to do a short-term fix until we dig it all out and then replace it with the concrete and the tubing that
We're basically.
No?
No, it would be either or.
Yeah,
Oh, this is an either or system?
I
Okay.
think we fix it.
This is.
well, let's see how much it costs before.
You can either take the-
Yeah, we need to see what the cost of the permanent fix is, you know, and stuff and everything, and then, you know, we can kind of go from there, but, you know, really, if you want longevity out of that filter without basically taking it out and buying a new one, what Tonka's proposing is really probably the best option we've got.
Yep.
And what they're proposing makes sense too. I mean, we can get in there and do the re-welds and blast and repaint that lower portion, and then redo the under drain system and everything.
Would they use the epoxy or urethane on the inside?
Epoxy.
So how long would this be as almost as a replacement? I mean, you're still using basically the same stuff, but you're kind of replacing it.
Yeah.
So you get another
Yeah.
20 years out of it.
Yeah, at least, because the thing about it, the other portions of the filter, we can actually get to, and if we have problems with the paint system and the detention tank or anything like it, there's room in there where you get in there and make those corrections, where with the other drain, you just can't correct that portion, so if you get a failure down there, you're kind of stuck unless you come up with what Tonka's come up with as a way to do it, but like I said, the cost, I'm interested to see what the labor cost is gonna be, because they've gotta go in, you can imagine, they gotta go through those hatches that we have to get into to replace media. They have to go into those hatches, and they basically gotta get in there and cut that floor out of that filter under drain while in that, in that area, so it's not gonna be easy work for somebody, but they've done it before.
Plus confined space.
Yeah.
And then they gotta, once they cut it out, then they gotta do all the work to repair it.
Yeah.
And then they've gotta build the structure that's gonna hold the concrete.
So once,
Or concrete.
yeah, so once they have the floor and the divider walls out, and stuff, once they have that out, then it's gonna be a lot easier work, and they've got a big open area, and stuff in there to do the blasting, the painting, putting in the new under drain nozzles and pouring the concrete in there. But it's just getting all of that floor and divider walls out of there that's gonna be the pain. Plus it's gonna be down for a
And
while.
on top of that, you're gonna need depth filters.
We gotta bring the temp filter back in to do it, cause it's gonna be down for longer than what we did for just.
So longer than, I mean, we're talking months to do this, or,
I would say it's gonna probably be a couple months to probably do it.
I mean, to
Well,
get
it's
somebody in
labor
there to
intensive, it's
cut,
gonna take
cut these
time.
out piece by piece to get it fit through a man door
Yeah.
like that.
That would have to be-
That alone is just gonna be, I mean,
The contractor would have to give us their time, want what.
right, yeah, I mean.
You're right, you gotta cut it small enough.
Yeah, you gotta cut
Out
get
that
the
same
manhole
hatch.
out, you gotta limit the time that people are in there, it sounds like a confined space nightmare, so.
Well, yeah, with the fumes they're gonna create cutting.
Yeah.
That confined space is gonna become very dangerous very fast.
You're assuming they're not gonna use kind of breathing apparatus.
But I mean, you're only allowed in there so long with those breather apparatuses in that situation anyway, so,
It's all negotiable.
yeah,
But they've done it
Possible, however they're
before, so, I mean, it's doable, they just gotta
torches
figure out
or
what the.
grinders or
cost
whatever.
gonna be for it, so. So we got
sounds
we got
realistic.
an option here without having to do a complete replacement, so.
Where's that EPA or IEPA forgiveness stuff? We could use some of that.
Unfortunately for
I'm
David
just-
Junction.
I'm just kidding.
And how long,
Yeah.
he, Chris kind of threw out a number of 20 years, but like, how long is the idea last that this fix would give us?
I don't know if you put a number on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna correct
He can't.
the leakage portion of it, I mean, the rest of the tank, the rest of the tank is no different than your steel tank on your elevated storage tank, as long as you keep the paint system good and protect the steel structure, and stuff, then all the interior components or exterior components like your media, your valves, your actuators, those things, when those things wear and go, yeah, you're gonna have to replace it, but, if you're just looking at the filter steel structure, and stuff, once we get that out and we can sandblast paint and then get the new underdrain system with the concrete in there with the nozzles and stuff, then
Well,
the
this
structure should be in good shape.
this is the first time we're doing anything with it,
Yeah.
correct? In how many years?
When did we do the gutter?
Yeah.
I think if you talk to most of the
A
filter,
couple years ago.
if you talk to most of the
We've done
filter
this
people, they probably tell you if you can get somewhere between, 30 to 40 years out of a filter, and stuff, and majority of the time, you're probably dealing with what you're dealing with now is the failure in the underdrain area, and stuff, because, the way, the older filters that they built, there's just not good access in there, so, once that paint system and steel structure down there, or steel structure starts to fail, there's just. no
Yeah,
access to
but
get
once
in.
you put concrete in there, there's no fixing it, period.
Right,
Well, they just busted out to get down there.
Right, well, then you might as well just replace it, cause that's gonna be even more expensive.
Yeah.
But it should last for a while.
We're currently at 25 to 26 years
Yes,
on the filter.
and that's why I said 20, I was being conservative, when I
Right.
said 20.
If we get another
25.
15, 20, I don't need that.
Yep, so
Uh,
we'll see what they
Go
come back
farther
with
than
the cost, hopefully.
I'd like longer, but
It would, with a concrete bottom, it should actually, if we. did
concrete's
this-
gonna be in the middle.
I thought you said it would be the bottom.
On the bottom.
Is it really very bottom?
No, it's very bottom.
Oh,
Seals
I
on
thought it was
bottom.
gonna be supported, so I'm wrong.
No, maybe next month I'll see if I can get some section views and stuff of it that I can show everybody to kind of give you a bit.
I have
I
the,
was misunderstanding.
I have the photos from when you did the tank inspection, if that helps.
Am I,
Hold on. Let's see if I can, oh, hold on. Hold on, let me zoom them in. I can't do it from that far.
So, okay.
Hold on, let me go to the,
Right there.
which one?
Go off.
Like some warehouses in Chicago.
So this is the very bottom plate of the filter. And then these are support structures there for the under drain, so, or for the filter tank. So up here, that's the plate that we want to get rid of.
Yeah,
So
cut out.
all of that plate's gonna come out, you know, and stuff there. And then those holes there are probably the where the nozzles sit, you know, and stuff. Above this plate, right there, above that plate, that's where the media sits, where we're pulling, you know, we're filtering out all the media, so all of that you see there, all of that's gonna go. And then this area down here, where you see it, this will all get, where we have leaks, we'll re-weld, we'll sandblast and paint the exterior wall in there, and then there'll be a piping grid in here, and then this part of it, up about, I think, a foot or so, will get poured in concrete, and then right above the top of the concrete, there'll be a nozzle that the water will come through the media, go through the nozzle, down to the piping system, and the piping system is gonna be encased in that concrete, so the nozzles are, you know, connected to the piping grid below, but all that below there will be all in concrete.
So the pillars stay though, the support pillars stay? I'm assuming they're supporting more than just the roof that we see there.
Those will not need to stay because that floor's gonna be gone.
Alright, so I'll-
It'll be sitting on the concrete, then actually, he said there'd be a intermediate, or-
Yeah.
and then the top would be the filter.
so they're gonna put in a new pillar then, or how does, I don't know, how are we supporting the new media that's in
The
there?
intermediate
concrete.
will sit on top of the concrete.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
Yeah.
butt up to the concrete?
Yeah, so when, say you got your concrete here, then you'll have your nozzle sticking through the
Right,
concrete.
I got
Then
that.
there'll be a, you know, I think they had 6 or 8 inches of what we call support media. And then above that will be your, what you call your filter media, the media that actually removes the iron and stuff there.
Okay.
So, Yep.
Just.
yeah, it's just cutting and getting all that steel out of there. Really small.
Another 30 years.
So,
So
Okay.
replace the whole thing is whatever.
all right, wastewater treatment plant NPS permit, Rick signed the signature pages, so that will
Have to
go
see. Have to
in
wait.
tomorrow to the EPA. The night for permit, Dale went out there to take a look, and I'm not sure from his email that saying, yeah, I'm not sure if they did much of anything out there, because he didn't see the culvert pipe that was supposed to be in, the flared in sections, even the ditch grading and stuff, so it looks like, you know,
Yeah,
they got some work to do this spring.
yes. I did receive the email from Dale. I have not had a chance to talk to Fergie about it or follow up with NICOR, but I will. So if you could leave that on the agenda or on your project list for now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to leave it. And then the solar farm, submitted the review letter for second site plan submittal.
Yep, haven't heard anything back. Nope.
Right?
Are we ever gonna get a solar farm?
Is it
Yes.
still based
How-
off the state?
How many have we sat through and we still don't, 5 years and,
No,
No solar.
we're getting one.
all right,
Like
just
the-
checking.
they've been,
On the
we've been
drainage.
working for about 6 months on
the
the building
vegetation.
permit project
I saw
process.
that.
And so, we're close, so they cleared BNF at this point, we're still waiting for them to clear Will and Hoffman, and we're still waiting for them to clear the attorneys.
All right.
No.
And hopefully within what, a year or two, we'll have one?
if they had a choice, they wanted their permit by the end of last month,
And they would have probably broke ground and started already if that was the case, huh?
but.
So they're ready to go. They're just waiting for us to say yes.
No, I
That's what
was
I'm
reached out to this morning from one of their contractors, so I know they're still lining them up, trying to get them scheduled as well.
Sense.
So yeah, nothing.
All right.
Can I go back to your bid opening date here? So I did look at the February 27th. Our meeting is actually February 25th. So that project won't get approved until
That's okay.
March 11th.
That's okay, because we'll have to do it anyway. We do need a little gap in between the bid opening and the award, because hopefully the contractors meet the BEP requirements, but if they do, we still have to send the BEP stuff down to DCO for approval.
Okay.
And then we'll get a letter back. Once we get the letter back that they've approved the BEP documentation, then we can award.
Perfect. All right, just want to let you know.
So that's the first thing we do. So.
All right.
Jen?
We had had a meeting prior to this meeting, with about our sesquicentennial event. We have had some, checks come rolling in for sponsors. Thank you, Will Hoffman.
Oh,
Um,
I can do it.
and a couple more that I had some phone calls with and emails back and forth, and they are going through their lines on what they can donate or sponsor and stuff like that. We have been kind of narrowing down our events and kind of starting to get our ducks in a row, hopefully, and we'll stay in a row. Anybody have anything they want to say?
No, just, we're locking down a band and all that
Yeah.
other stuff very
Yeah.
shortly, so
Who's the mayor?
we haven't decided yet, but we haven't kind of
You'll
narrowed.
see it as soon as we get a contract.
So,
Yeah, it's been a lot of people not getting back. It's been a lot of phone tag.
good music's a taste of opinions, I guess, so. We're not getting our first choices, but we'll probably be getting some of the others. I say that as a humor, but yes, we have. There will be hopefully, we do have plans for a beer
Yes,
tent,
yes.
but again, until we have everything locked down, there's nothing
Yes.
that's definite at this.
Yes, we're in talks, waiting on contracts and insurance,
Yep.
liabilities, and all kinds of other things.
The musicians are both waiting on the sound techs, to give pricing, and then we should have contracts, so.
And for those of you who are just waiting, the Easter egg hunt is gonna be April 12th.
I gotta share my phone, 'cause it's in there.
That's all I have.
Chris?
Nobody told me about anything, so I guess we don't have any emergency expenditures,
Do not,
which is a good thing.
yes, it is.
So I have nothing else.
Bill?
I have nothing.
Nathan?
Everything that was, for me, has been spoke by Will Hoffman, so.
John?
Brett, you in there?
I do not.
Patrick?
I have nothing else, Brett, has anything?
I do not.
I think economic development's been covered, unless we have anything else?
Nope.
Unfinished business?
LR lease, send us something.
Oh.
Are you redlining that? Did they, like, I didn't catch all that information exactly,
Oh.
so.
LR did not redline their proposed lease changes, and then sent us a PDF. So I did get my hands on the Word version. I will do a compare to the last one we had with them, so you can see all of the changes that he made compared to the last one.
That'd be
we
very
saw.
helpful, because
Once I have the compare, I will resend it to you too, so that you guys can
Yeah.
see what the changes are, because right now we can't see any of the changes of their proposed.
Right.
Whatever, I'd have to look at them together anyway, because I haven't seen it in 6 months.
Yes.
Right.
Well, now you're gonna see a compare, because
Right.
I don't
No,
have
I
any
got it.
other
I
option.
looked at his stuff and he clearly had done some of the things that we asked,
Yeah,
so.
but moving forward,
Right.
if he could redline, that would make our lives easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the fact that we have something back in our hands is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
So I will attempt to get to that
Get
this week.
short on-
no worries, but thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
That is everything that I'm aware of.
Public?
Did anybody else have any updates on the unfinished business?
Public,
Okay.
anything further from board members, officers?
Motion adjourned. Second.
John makes a motion to adjourn, Patrick seconds, Kurt?
Yes.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Adjourned 6:35.
So Sam,